What up? Paul here. Today we're bringing you another episode of review of The Legend of Korra. This time season 4, episode 2, Korra Alone. This was a really strange episode. I really felt like this should have been the first episode of season 4 instead of the first episode. That could have been a nice season 2 to tie up what everybody else is doing. But for this one, Korra is still struggling to become normal again after her fight was a year. She's been crippled low-key and needs physical therapy, so she goes back to the Southern Water Tribe to go help turn up with, with Katara. And so she's going through physical therapy, and there's that rehab scene which is coming straight out of Kill Bill, the wiggle your big toe. I thought that was a nice touch for Kill Bill fans if anybody's seen that movie. It's a pretty big part of that movie. Then we go back to Korra. Just keep going to flashbacks, and she's in the city, continuing from episode 1 where we last saw her, where she just got her ass beat, healing herself and whatnot. She's just trying to get through the city, and runs across her avatar state, Beast Mode Korra, who's just kind of there, kind of stalking her. So she's seeing that, but nobody else sees it, so she's tripping out, and she starts fighting it in the street. Nobody sees it, and whatever. They think she's like on drugs, and asks to go to the doctor and whatnot. And then after that, she sees a puppy. The puppy takes her on a journey where the puppy sees evil Korra, and whatever. I'm sorry. Flashback to where is she now? She's still at the Southern Water Tribe. She's starting to learn how to walk with Katara. And she snaps at Katara, like, blah, 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 blah. And she starts to get a little snappy at her, but Katara's like, yo, like, I can only heal you physically, but, like, you're good, it's just your mental's all messed up. So, like usual, she's still not in touch with everything. And, so far so good. That's the episode going by. And then Tenzin comes. She started to walk again while walking in Naga. And then Tenzin comes, and then she's like, yeah, I'm good again. Let's go see me fight. And then you get a cut to a flashback of pretty much the first episode of Korra when she's fighting those firebenders, except of getting whooped, like when she does that cool move that she does in the first episode. She gets hit and takes an L because she sees Zahir doing work on her again. So she's like, I'm not ready yet. She goes home, she can't sleep. She starts writing letters to Asami because in the beginning you get the flashback of them writing letters to her saying like what's going on. Mako gives a police report pretty much. Bolin draws pictures, and Asami's the only one who's really like, yo, how are you? She's like, oh, I'm good. It's been the toughest 2 years of our life though, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna go do stuff now. And then Korra's like, I'm gonna go back to Republic City to her parents. I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna send the White Lotus to take you. But she's like, no, I'm good, I'm gonna do this alone. She goes to Republic City, she sees evil Korra standing on the mountaintops, and then she goes home. She goes back into the forest where she tries to meditate, and she sees these spirits talking about her, like, yo, that's the Avatar. And she's like, yeah, it's me, I'm here, I just cut my hair. Then you get a flashback of her when she went to a city. Look like the city with like the Painted Lady episode with Katara when she was like the Painted Lady and doing things with the water to stop a factory from polluting a town. I think that's what happened in that episode. So you get a flashback picture of Aang when he went to visit. It's a really goofy picture of adult Aang playing with like these little meat nuggets, but they're not meat because Aang's a vegetarian. And you see like two people robbing a store. Korra tries to fight them. She gets handled again. They're like, you're not the Avatar. And that brings her to the city where you see her fight in the fight club from the last episode. But the thing is, when she's fighting the girl, she's not seeing the girl, she's seeing her evil self. So in reality, she's not really fighting the chick, she's fighting herself and losing. So, because I really feel like Korra could have handled that chick. But after that, you see the white puppy guide her, and you see the flashback of them being guided by the puppy. And it brings her to the swamp, where when she arrives at the swamp, she sees her evil self again, and they really actually have a fight, like things fighting back using all the elements and like the cool whip from the end of the last episode. And then the fight ends with Korra trying to jump into a tree to escape, evil Korra whips her leg and pulls her in and turns into the poison puddle. The poison that went into it, but turns into a puddle. The poison drags her in. And Korra gets knocked out, and when she awakes, she is in a cave. And an old lady is just like, hey, I found you kind of beat up and everything. She's like, how did you know who I was? She's like, oh, I know this area pretty well. And so I was like, oh, I know who this is. And all of a sudden it's revealed that it's Toph. But Toph was like a crazy old witch with long hair and was real old and evil. And it's a cool callback because when Aang first met Toph, if people don't remember, he needed to learn how to earthbend, but he didn't have a teacher. So he's like, I need to find a teacher. And then in the same swamp, you saw little flashbacks of Toph in like a dress, hanging out on vines or whatever, and running away. So that's how he found Toph to be his friend / earthbender teacher. And it was a nice callback. He's like, yeah, I was friends with you in your previous life. And it's like, it's finally good to see you again, Twinkle Toes. And then the episode ends. So overall, I think this was a really cool episode. We got a little bit of action and a lot of backstory, which was needed in the first episode. At least for Korra, because at the end of the first episode, Korra was only in it for like a minute. So it's good to see what happened for her to get to where we are now. But I really feel like episode 2 should have been episode 1, or that episode 1 and 2 should have been an hour long. Welcome to the season, because I felt like that episode is really, today's episode, like it was really needed to push Korra further. And another thing I didn't talk about was the fact that they mentioned Kuvira, and she's like, that should be me uniting the Earth Kingdom, which I think is going to come into play later when you realize that Kuvira and Korra are very similar to each other. I think they're going to be like, we're besties, we're not really, but you're the enemy, but we're semi-connected. So that's going to come into play. But I give this episode like an 8 out of 10. If I have to review things, I don't know why I'm reviewing episodes, but I liked the episode, and it was pretty cool. So go watch it, nick.com. I'm Paul. This has been another episode of Korra review. Episode 2, Korra Alone. And I like the title Korra Alone because there's an episode called Zuko Alone in season, I think it's 3. It's 3, because that's when Zuko joins. When Zuko is alone and he has to learn to deal with himself and comes to the realization that he needs to go help Aang and that he's been wrong and the Fire Lord is an asshole. I'd like to call back to that. Okay, that being said, I'm really signing out. Peace out, peace. Bye.